Welcome to Not a Great Whisperer podcast. We are joined today with the beautiful Denise from Pretty Lovely You, who I was able to meet at an event when she was a vendor. But I really want her to share her story today. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Katy.
So I know you've been interviewed by news stations and stuff. Have you ever done a podcast?
I have, but not talking to someone across the table. So this is kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. So let's kind of get into where you are today and how you got there. And I'd love for you to just tell us all your story.
Okay, so Pretty Lovely You, what I do, it sounds basic. I sell bras, but we actually do more than selling bras. So can I go back in time and come forward?
Yeah, please.
Okay, great. So I had breast implant illness. I got breast implants. It was 2 years after my divorce, 4 years after my divorce. And I had really bad self-body image. Had it pretty much my whole life, but it got worse. So I got these implants. I thought, these are going to make me beautiful. I can wear all the dresses and the bikinis and yada, yada, yada. And they ended up making me really, really sick to a level where at the end I thought I was going to be on disability if I would be alive. So I figured it out. I got them out. And it's been a journey to health ever since. But when I got them out, I went to go find a bra. And I went to all the local shops in the area. And all I heard was, we don't have much in your size, dear. And I was like, that's not okay. So I went to my car and I cried. I had an event I was supposed to go to. I needed a bra for under a dress. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And I remembered back in time as to why I felt the way I felt about myself. And I thought, is this the industry? What's going on? So I got my business license. I paid my way into the major trade show in New York, Curve. And I found a whole bunch of lines with beautiful bras for small cup women. And I also found an industry that's very empowering for women, unlike what is kind of posed in the media by some of the big brands. But it's actually, it's an amazing, amazing industry. All about uplifting women, all about confidence, about buying the pretty bra for yourself. Mm-hmm. So I really embraced it. So now I offer free bra fittings at J9 Shoes in downtown St. Pete. And it's more than a fitting. Mm-hmm. So when women come in to do a fitting with me, the first thing I have them do is fill out 5 things you love about you. Mm-hmm. And for some women, I know that face.
I love it. Yeah, I love that. I think it's super important to remind people because we all have hard days. And I love that you're very open about that too.
Yeah. But for some women, they're like, I love everything about me. And I love those women. They're great.
Oh, yeah. And they'll write it down real quick.
Yeah. And either they're having a fabulous day or they're just in that space in their life that I think is awesome. But then there's the other women who they sit down and they're like,
I don't have 5 things.
Yeah. They don't know what to fill out. It's either they don't know, they don't think positive about themselves at that point, or they've been kind of trained to, you're not supposed to say positive things about yourself. Yeah. So I walk them through it. I'm like, well, from what I can see, and I'll share with just some things that I've learned about them in short conversation, what I'm viewing of them. And some women are like, thank you. I really needed this today.
Yeah. It's just it's really cool. And do you look back now and you're just so thankful you started this? It was much pain you go through and health issues and everything. But do you just look back and you're like, I am officially making a difference?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
At first, I didn't know how I was going to make a difference. But just through what women have told me, shared with me, I have women who cry in the fitting rooms because it can be a very emotional experience to get a fitting. Yeah. And there's a lot that's shared in that room. And I really do now. It can be kind of powerful, and I need to take a step back every once in a while and take a breath.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's a lot of positive energy coming at you.
Positive and a lot you're taking on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like you're like an empath a little bit. So it's like you kind of take on people's emotions and feelings.
Absolutely.
So that's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
But it's still worth it.
I absolutely love it. And I was speaking with a woman this morning and over some tea, and we both have that same vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And we're both talking about how we are trying to help women based on our own personal experiences. And I think that's what makes us most relatable, is that we're not somebody out there who are saying, hey, come, shop with me, or come take this trip with me and I'll help you to be all better. We're like, no, we just know some tips and tools that can help you to become,
get real.
Exactly.
Right?
And kind of learn where you want to be in life.
So, I mean, you are an entrepreneur and you know a lot about boobs now.
I do. More than I ever thought I would know.
Which is awesome. But do you notice that when people come in, even if they're super confident, they've never really had like a good, not lingerie, like bra lingerie fitting experience? Cause like I come from I did not have a fun time when I was in like high school. Victoria's Secret was the big thing. And like, I was very double D in high school, it was very uncomfortable. And I'd always like pick a C because I was like, first of all, it's like $10 cheaper. And second, like, I'm just going to go with it, but they never measured me right.
No.
And it was, I know when I measured with you, I made that face. I was like, what? I didn't know that. And it's crazy because I've gone 37 years of who's going to get measured at 5 years old? But like, I've gone this long and not been measured really correctly.
That happens a lot.
Insane.
It is insane. And I've heard of really bad experiences with it, which is unfortunate, especially, and it could be with any, but considering my initial market has been the small cups, women, going in being told that they don't need a bra, they can go to the young girls department for starter bras, they can just wear a sports bra, and that's not the environment somebody wants to be in. You want to be in one where you can always feel like a woman as a woman, but yeah, you're right. There are a lot of women out there who, and myself being one, I had never had a fitting up until I went to New York. Because even when I went out to find a bra, nobody did a fitting for me.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of women out there who aren't wearing the right size bra. A lot of women who say they hate to wear their bras. So I want them to come in and learn to love wearing a bra. And it doesn't mean you have to wear it 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
I do not. I go home, I take it off.
Yeah. You're like, this is my time to take this off.
Exactly. So it's just when you want to wear it. But if you're going to wear it, it needs to be a properly fitted bra, because your shoulders are going to go back. You're going to stand tall. You're going to feel good about yourself. Your confidence is going to be raised. You're going to rock the meeting. You're going to feel good even if you're just taking your kids to the playground, wherever you are, you're going to feel really good about yourself. And that's super important.
And going into the breast implant illness, what were your first symptoms when you noticed things were you weren't feeling well?
It's interesting because I didn't even know they were symptoms at the time. But one of the big things is that I couldn't get a deep breath of air in my lungs. I was always a runner, not anything professional or anything like that. But it was one thing I did to clear my head was go out and run. And I had just moved to the Cayman Islands. And I thought, well, there's a lot of humidity here. So I stopped running. And then I started getting migraines. Out of nowhere, I was in the emergency room for a migraine. Didn't know why. They went from monthly to weekly to daily. And then I was being tested. They thought there was something wrong with my carotid artery. I was being tested for MS, for stroke, because my face was drooping. I had tingles down my leg and arm. My gallbladder went bad and I didn't have stones, so I had it removed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there was, at one point I went in, I thought I was having a heart attack. They're not like, no, it's pleurisy. My body was so inflamed from all of the toxins that are in the implants, not just the inside, but the shell of the implant is silicone. Yeah. So that silicone, after a while, you put it in a very warm environment, you're going to have what's called gel bleed. And so the toxicity, your body's like, just stop, please get it out. And it was kind of a crazy ride for probably 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you found that out how many years after you got them?
I got them in 2006 and I had them removed in 2019. And I had them replaced in 2011.
That's super recent. Wow.
Yeah. So it hit me quick. You don't go back to your plastic surgeon and say, hey, I'm having these symptoms. I think it's my implants.
Yeah.
No, everybody tells you, like I hit 40 and I thought that I was just falling apart.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, it's just aging. Like my hair was losing its color and I lost a lot of hair. I didn't know how much hair I had lost until it started to grow back in after I had the implants removed. I went into early menopause, for which after I had the implants taken out, I had testing done. I came out of menopause within a month of having the implants taken out. And I don't mean like
oh my gosh.
I was completely not fertile. I mean, I was fertile again. And then a year later, I went back into menopause because that was like the course of life. Because now I'm 52. At the time, I was 50. So, but it messes with so many components of your body, and you don't think it, and you don't know. You just go to all these different types of doctors to help you, but nobody ever says it could be your implants.
Yeah, and what's crazy to me is just like where you are today from that. I mean, you're still recovering. Like you still go through a lot of pain, right?
I do. And, it's one of those things where I try to have gratitude for the pain now, which is a mindset thing, because I know my body is telling me something is still wrong. And I have to try and figure out what it is. It's like a screaming baby or a crying puppy. It can't tell you, but it's telling you something, and you have to try and figure it out. So right now I'm dealing with a lot of pain on the right side of my body. It goes from my head down to my foot, and it affects my vision. I get vertigo with it, and it'll have me doubled over in pain in my abdomen. So we're working through that now, but I've worked with dietitians, naturopath doctors, my regular doctor, just because if I need something as far as urgent care of any type, she works with me. Chiropractors, acupuncture, you name it, I'm doing it, and I'm all in regardless of what it takes.
Yeah. And do you think that you are in a better place than when this first started? How do you feel?
Yeah, I am 100% in a better place.
And you're more aware of what's going on.
Yeah, like I am so in tune with my body, and a lot of the practitioners will tell me that they're like, you know what your body is saying very, very well. And I'm like, yes, I listen to it.
Yeah, I need to work on that.
Yeah.
And like as a kid, do you feel like the lower confidence level just happened throughout experiences in life? Do you feel like as a kid you were more shy? Like how do you feel that? Well, now you're just like this empowering woman, but what kind of got you there?
Honestly, like I had moments like in my, personal world around my family where I was very confident as a little girl. But then around when I went to school,
society,
I did not. And I wasn't one of the quote unquote pretty girls. I was, just your average girl. And so I didn't feel like I was one of them. All the other girls started to get a figure, they had boobs, and I'm sitting there doing the stretches of, we must improve us.
Yes.
That was me.
You're like, it did not work at that time. Thank you.
It didn't. So I think it was just something that through the media, through looking at other girls, and as a teenager growing up and you're seeing your friends and everybody develop and you're not developing the same way, they're dating and, boys at that age aren't even looking at you. It's just
wears you down.
It does. And, a lot of people said, you're beautiful. What are you talking about? But I could never see me the way other people saw me. And in fact, I had become anorexic and bulimic at 18, 19 years old. And unfortunately, I somehow segued out of that by the time I was 21, 22. But I always I was like, okay, I'm going to be this weight. And I'm not going to go over, I'm not going to go under, and I'm going to be this weight. And so I maintained.
That scale will get you mentally.
Yeah, it really will. And, when I was 36, finally, when I got the implants, I was like, hey, I finally hit puberty. Like I actually said I finally became a woman. So to me, in my head, I associated being a woman with
boobs or
with
curves.
boobs. Exactly. So, and a lot of women struggle when they get them out, and I mean a lot, because it's very hard when you haven't dealt with that baggage of your own. And yeah, it can be very traumatizing. I've heard of some women, like, you know, they have less pain, they're less sick, but they can't deal with it mentally. Yeah, so it's hard.
I love the message just in general, because I always tell like my daughters and my son, like, everybody comes in different shapes and sizes. And it's really hard as a kid to kind of understand, why does my mom say this all the time? But it's because as a child, I was bigger. So, you don't look at it. So I saw the thinner girls or the tinier, like, oh, that's how I need to be. Or that's, you know, and you're always wanting this, wanting that. And it just gets in your head mentally. But you don't realize the struggle within everybody, from petite to, I don't know if petite's like a negative word, but it's like petite to like plus to, and you're just like, when you get older, you're just like, wow.
It's true.
We have really effed ourselves up looking at magazines and filters and just all the thing. Like, you know, I always say like the Facebook reel of just, it's not real. It's not like, just go to like a regular picture. But it's really hard to get out of that because you see it all the time.
Yeah. There's this mindset of wanting to be perfect, but there's no such thing as perfect. It doesn't exist. And everybody's perception of what is beautiful or what is attractive is different based on who the person is. So there is no 100% perfection. So what you're actually going for, you're never ever going to attain, because it doesn't exist.
And I love that your message is because you've experienced it with getting the implants taken out and things for smaller cup sizes, but it's not that you are leaving out every cup. Do you know what I mean? I love that you make sure to apply to everyone. Your message just comes from experience. And I think people also need to realize that too. When people are spreading this like message of body positive, it's usually stemming from their experience first. So it's not like it's leaving anyone out, because I have your bra and I love it. I wore it the other day and my 8-year-old said, it looks like you're wearing a bathing suit. And my daughter said, that is such a beautiful bra, because we had just finished seeing your vendor. We just come to your show to see the bras. And I think she just like loved them. So I love the, it's just funny how, you know, but I love how they make me feel. And I think it's not, you know, I don't only go, because I've lost a lot of my boobs as I've lost weight and gotten healthier and things like that. And my image too was always, oh my God, what am I going to do if my boobs are gone? Like, how am I going to feel? Like, I feel like this has defined me for so long.
Yep.
And it's crazy how it really gets in your head, and you have to do so much work on it. And even someone who's in front of women all day, like yourself, like you have to do work for yourself every day. And I love how real you are about that.
Yeah. It's not something that I can say I'm 100% every single day. I have my moments of feeling small. I have my moments of, especially if I'm not feeling well, I go super small every single time. This past month has been really rough on me. And a woman came in and she just looked amazing. She looked like a powerhouse. She was beautiful, shoulders back. She was confident. She looked like she owned the world. And I was super happy for her, but I also felt about 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
I felt like back to being my 5-year-old little girl self. And yeah, I mentally know what I'm going through now. Just like I know when my body hurts, I know when my mind is going through stuff as well. And so I work through it, and I'll be like, where are you going with this? Why do you feel this way? You know, you are in the same kind of position. You're just not feeling well right now, and that's okay. And, you know, I do journaling and I do meditation daily. And I do
the work.
I do the work, and it takes work to make sure that I stay mentally healthy all the time. And that being said, I have done a lot of therapy and different modalities of therapy to get to where I am. And I'm 100% okay with that. And I'm 100% okay with doing even more if I have to, so that I can keep improving on self-love and self-awareness and self-care.
Okay. So now let's celebrate the shit out of you. What's your favorite story now that you are a business owner, doing what you want to do? You have purpose, like you're changing women's lives. Like, what's one of your favorite stories?
There's so many.
Good. Oh my God, yay. Okay, we'll do one. Okay, but I love that you have so many, because
I do have so many.
That's good. And you celebrate yourself. You know, even on the hard days, you got to kind of get back up and be like, I am doing it.
So it's a recent one, and I actually just posted about it.
Okay.
And I was at an event, the event that you came to with your daughter, and there was a woman who came up to the table, and I call her a bougie older woman.
Oh, the 7-year-old one. Oh my God, I can't wait. I love this story.
And I'm guessing she was in her mid 70s. I have no idea how old this woman was, but she was an older lady. She looked absolutely lovely. And so she was there with all of her friends, and they're looking at the bras and everything. And she's like, I want the red one. It was the red bralette. And I was like, okay. So her friends then started to gather around her, and they were like, you're getting the red one? It was almost like, that's a sinner's color. I just was like,
what a sinner.
I know. Red bralette.
I love that.
So, but she was like, yeah. And if she had that teddy over there, that sexy lace in red, I'd get that too. And she was just standing there beaming with confidence. And I just loved her because I could see the other women around her like, wow, like I didn't know this about you. I didn't know. It was almost like she was making it okay for her friends
to be themselves as well.
Exactly. And
I love that in that generation too, because it's like, no, don't talk about that. No, we don't wear sexy things.
Exactly.
And she's like, I want that, and that, all in red.
Exactly. And I love that story because it honestly, it just takes one person to help change the mindset of this group who changes it of another group. And it just keeps going. And so for her to do that, I mean, she made me smile and, become more aware of, I want to be like that too. I want to be like that right now and every day moving forward. And she touched the women around her as well.
I love that. I do love that story. I wish I was there when she was up there because I would have been like, high five. So what are some of the things that are coming up for you? And I know you're at a store, right? Not a storefront yet, but is it one of your goals to have your own storefront?
I would love to have my own storefront. Yeah.
But what are some events coming up for you? Yeah, I knew that was I figured it was one of your goals because you love that intimate. Like for Ambi's gala, you had that like whole room to like make it very much your own. And I know that how you feel like that's your space. Like
it was amazing. Yeah. And I want to create a beautiful space for women where they can come in and share their stories and feel comfortable getting a fitting. And
just hang out with other women like
exactly. Have a cup of tea or have a glass of champagne, whatever you want to have. And so I'm at J9 Shoes, etc. in downtown St. Pete. And I love that shop because that's the kind of vibe that is. But one of the big events I am, and I don't think anybody really knows this yet. So, hey, big announcement.
Oh, the fashion show.
The fashion show is April 2nd. It's going to be in Palm Harbor, I believe. We're kind of finalizing that. And I'm so excited about it. We're going to have the bras will be in the show. And we're going to have, I think, 3 other lines that will be in the show as well.
And I love that with collaboration, right? It's not competition, it's collaboration, and just having different lines and different apparel and people doing the same thing and having the same kind of message of just like, be yourself, be who you want to be, wherever you want. Yeah, I love that. I love that you're doing it with other fashion lines. I think that's important to do because people are always like, well, they kind of standoffish and very much compete, but I know you're very much like, no, I think we all can be here.
we absolutely can all be there because we're not hitting the same market. And just because somebody loves something of mine, and vice versa, everybody loves something different. So, and what I love about doing this is that I'm doing with Empower Her Meant with Ambi Stevens. And she is so amazing with what she does for women with her community center. And I love that I'm joining up with her. A lot of the proceeds are going to go to Empower Her Meant to help her to grow. And I'm also hoping that a nonprofit for breast implant illness awareness will agree to allow me to present to them as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it'll be part of my platform also.
Which it should be. I mean, I think it's really important because I think over the last 5 years, the amount of women I know now that have had breast implant illness is getting up. The numbers are going high.
They are going high. I haven't looked to see what the number of, I know explants were going up, implants were going down at one point.
Okay.
So I'll be curious to see how that all switches up. And I'd like to see this be more of, people call it a fad or a fashion, and it's not. It's actually women learning to embrace who they are, loving their health, and wanting more for their daughters. Yeah. They want to be an example for their daughters as to who they should be as well.
I know. Even the dolls nowadays are a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
So let's go over where we can find you on social, all of that fun stuff. And then your event that's coming up is April 2nd, but you do a lot of events that you post about that you are a vendor at. So they keep an eye out on your social. Okay.
So I have my website, prettylovelyu.com, just like it is all spelled out.
And I love the Pretty Lovely You. Where'd you get that name?
Actually, it's from a friend of mine who I knew in the Cayman Islands, and she moved to Germany. And I went over to visit her, and we did, we spent time in Germany, and then we went to Paris for a girls' weekend.
Love it.
And so I was like chatting with her, and I'm like, I need a name. And so we just kind of went back and forth, and that's the name that came out of it. So I sent her a note, and I was like, I picked Pretty Lovely You. That was this thing.
I love it. I forgot to ask earlier about that, but I'm glad we said it.
And it was kind of cool because it was like, it was something that I found with one of my good friends.
Yep.
And so I have that. And then I have Instagram, which is Pretty Lovely You, and Facebook, Pretty Lovely You Intimates. So I'm on several different platforms right now. I just started on TikTok. I'm working on that.
That is a beast in itself. I eventually have to do it, but good luck with that.
I know.
And you'll find Denise on at Not a Great Whisperer podcast page, at The Real Katy Rey. I am so excited you joined today. Do you have any final, like a little final message for the billion followers that I have?
I know, all billion of you. I am actually really accessible. So if you want to chat with me, a good way is through Instagram.
Slip into your DMs.
Slip into my DMs. Send me a note. I have women messaging me, whether it's through you're struggling with breast implant illness, through body image, or through, needing a bra and a proper fitting. Reach out to me so that we can work out even if it's just a chat or a fitting or something like that. And also look forward, I am revising my confidence coaching program.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm going to be putting that out also.
Keep an eye out.
To give women the tools. So yeah, keep an eye out for that.
This is wonderful. Thank you for joining, friend. I'm so excited for things to come and to collaborate with you more. And we are at BKN Creative Studio in Ybor City, and I appreciate you. Thank you, Denise.
Thank you.